Have you ever imagined stepping off a cruise ship into a port where the turquoise water meets white sand, where pastel buildings line the waterfront, and where the air feels just a little sweeter with sea breeze and sunshine? That's the promise of Nassau, the bustling capital of the Bahamas. But as anyone who's traveled knows, no place is only postcard perfect, and every destination comes with its own realities you need to be prepared for. I'm Stephen with the Travel Safety Network. For more than 25 years, I worked across the globe in industrial safety and risk management, helping people navigate some of the most challenging environments on Earth. Today, I'm bringing that same mindset to the world of travel, because understanding a place before you go isn't just about logistics. It's about respecting the people who live there, making informed choices, and protecting your peace of mind. In this video, we're going to take an honest, thorough look at Nassau as a cruise port. I'll walk you through what happens when you arrive, how to get around, what kinds of scams and petty crimes you need to watch out for, and what to expect when you decide to explore the city or venture out to the beach. We'll also touch on local customs that can help you feel more comfortable and connected, and I'll share a few pro tips for a smoother disembarkation. Stay tuned until the end, because I'll let you in on something about Nassau that even frequent cruisers don't always realize. Something that might inspire you to look at this port in a whole new light. Let's start with a bit of context. Nassau sits on New Providence Island, the most populous island in the Bahamas. It's the country's capital, its economic engine, and its primary point of arrival for millions of cruise passengers each year. In fact, Nassau consistently ranks among the busiest cruise ports in the world. It's a place designed to welcome visitors, but also one that can feel overwhelming if you don't know what to expect. Unlike smaller Caribbean ports, Nassau is a dock port, not a tender port. That means your ship pulls directly up to the pier, and you walk off onto solid ground without the extra step of boarding smaller boats to shuttle you to shore. This is good news if you're traveling with kids, have mobility considerations, or just prefer a simpler disembarkation process. Once you exit the ship, you'll follow a marked walkway that funnels everyone into the new Nassau Cruise Port Terminal. This recently redeveloped complex is modern and well organized, with shaded areas, restrooms, information desks, and a landscaped plaza that feels a bit like an upscale outdoor mall. There's a duty-free shopping area, local craft stalls, and transportation services all in one place. It's efficient but can get very busy, especially if multiple ships are in port. One of the first decisions you'll make is whether to explore downtown Nassau on foot or grab transportation to one of the beaches or resorts further afield. If you're planning to see the city center, you're in luck. Bay Street, the main thoroughfare, is right outside the port gates. In fact, many of Nassau's most popular shops, restaurants, and historical sites are within walking distance. The Queen's Staircase, the Straw Market, and Parliament Square can all be reached on foot in about 10 to 15 minutes. If you'd rather head to Paradise Island, home to the famous Atlantis Resort, you'll find licensed taxis waiting just beyond the secured port area. The ride over the bridge usually takes about 10 minutes, though traffic can be heavy around midday. Make sure you agree on the fare before you get in the taxi, as meters aren't always used consistently. Drivers will often quote a price in US dollars, which are accepted everywhere, but it's wise to carry smaller bills to avoid awkward discussions over change. When it comes to transportation, Nassau has a reputation for being generally safe if you stick with licensed taxis or book transfers through your cruise line or a reputable excursion company. You may encounter independent drivers or tour guides offering rides or trips at a discount right outside the terminal. Some are legitimate, but others operate without proper licensing or insurance. If you decide to go with an independent operator, ask to see their credentials and trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, walk away. Petty crime is the most common safety issue visitors experience in Nassau. Pickpocketing and bag snatching can occur in crowded areas, particularly the Straw Market and parts of Bay Street. Be mindful of your bags, keep your phone secure, and avoid carrying large amounts of cash. Most shops and restaurants accept credit cards, which can help you limit how much you need to carry. Scams targeting tourists do exist here, and they tend to follow a few familiar patterns. You might be approached by someone offering a free souvenir that turns out to come with a price tag, or you might encounter aggressive sales pitches for tours or jewelry. The best approach is to be polite but firm. If you're not interested, a simple "no, thank you" and continuing to walk will usually do the trick. Despite these precautions, most visitors to Nassau have a safe, enjoyable experience. The Bahamian people are warm, friendly, and genuinely proud to share their island with travelers. A little cultural awareness goes a long way here. A smile and a good morning or good afternoon before asking a question is appreciated, and taking a moment to learn about the local customs will help you feel more connected. One question that comes up often is about food and water safety. In Nassau, tap water is generally considered safe to drink, especially in hotels and restaurants that cater to tourists. If you have a sensitive stomach, bottled water is widely available and inexpensive. When it comes to food, established restaurants and resort venues maintain high standards of hygiene. If you're tempted by street food, look for busy stalls with a steady turnover. Conch fritters and fresh grilled fish are popular options, but make sure the food is cooked thoroughly and served hot. Disembarkation in Nassau can feel a little hectic, especially when several large ships are in port at once. If you prefer a quieter experience, consider waiting 30 to 45 minutes after the initial rush to leave the ship. You'll find shorter lines at security and transportation stands, and the sidewalks outside the terminal will be less crowded. One of the best ways to experience Nassau safely is to plan an excursion in advance. Popular options include snorkeling trips to nearby reefs, catamaran cruises, historical walking tours, and day passes to resorts like Atlantis. Booking through your cruise line or a reputable operator provides an extra layer of security and usually includes transportation and clear meeting instructions. If you're planning to visit one of the public beaches, such as Junkanoo Beach or Cabbage Beach, it's wise to bring only what you need for the day. Leave valuables in your cabin safe or at home. While most beach vendors are friendly and respectful, you will encounter persistent offers for drinks, souvenirs, and rentals. A polite but firm "no thank you" works here too. The travel advisories from major governments echo much of this advice. The U.S. State Department recommends exercising normal precautions in the Bahamas, but notes that crime can increase around tourist hubs. Global Affairs Canada emphasizes staying aware of your surroundings, particularly when exploring off the beaten path. The UK's Foreign Office and Australia's Smartraveller offer similar guidance, encouraging travelers to use reputable transport and remain vigilant in crowded areas. So is it safe to travel to Nassau on a cruise? The honest answer is that for most travelers, Nassau is safe and welcoming, provided you take sensible precautions. It's a port that has invested heavily in making visitors feel comfortable and cared for, and the vast majority of people who disembark here have an enjoyable, incident-free experience. That doesn't mean you should let your guard down completely. It means you should arrive prepared, stay aware, and be confident in the knowledge that you understand how the port and the city work. And here's the surprise I promised you. Many people think of Nassau as just a shopping stop or a beach day, but the city has a rich history that often goes overlooked. Just a short walk from the port, you'll find the Pompey Museum, housed in the historic Vendu House. It tells the story of the Bahamian struggle for freedom and the resilience of the enslaved people who shaped the culture you see today. Spending an hour there can add depth and meaning to your visit and remind you that every port is more than just a backdrop for vacation photos. It's a living place with stories worth hearing. I'm Stephen with the Travel Safety Network. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone planning a cruise that stops in Nassau. For more tips on navigating cruise ports safely, check out my other videos in this series. And if you're ready to start planning your next journey, Paula and I at True North Travel would love to help you make it unforgettable. Until next time, stay curious, stay prepared, and remember, safety is your travel superpower.